Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing this Ram RHO, and this is not truly a base model, but this is less equipped than what you'll see with a lot of RHOs on the market, which I think is a good thing because it brings the price down to a point where it's pretty much too good to pass up. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Doug Smith here in American Fork for giving me some time with this RHO. This one is available for sale, so if you're interested, link to their website in the description down below, link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a twin-turbo 3-liter inline-6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 14 around town and then 16 on the highway, with power outputs being 540 horsepower and then 521 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So just like the Ram TRX, you've got the cool center vent, and then you'll see it says Hurricane High Output with pretty aggressive badging. You've got fancy headlights here with the RHO. They kind of have a fun little animation turning on and off. It's like sequential. You still have the hollow Ram logo for extra airflow. You've got recovery points, fog lights there at the bottom, and then you've got skid plate protection, bash plate, all of that as well. But yeah, great looking truck. Now I've got 35s wrapped around 18-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear. And you can see with the wheels completely blacked out, has that cool kind of like stealthy design. And these tires are great. You guys can see the little lines there for snow use. Giant fender flares and giant fenders as well with the RHO. I keep wanting to say TRX, man. Got the venting here on the side, Ram logo there. And then you can see with the two-tone design here with this one. The gray here kind of hides the black a little bit more compared to other colors, but here's your full side view. And by the way, just like the TRX, this uses the Blackhawk Bilstein shocks, really durable system, active just like the Raptor, and we've got a really beefy solid rear axle. Now this leads us to the key fob. We have our lock and unlock function. We got the drop down for the tailgate, remote start. You got the RHO logo there. Press that a couple of times and she will slow lower down. Now you notice that this one does not have any bed liner. That's additional cost if you want to add that, but see LED lights here in the bed, and I do think this is power up. Yep, pretty cool system. And then the taillights are also fancy, like the headlights where they'll do like a fun little animation to pop on. Pretty aggressive exhaust tips. You can see the bumper, also hardcore, ready for some off-roading. And there's the rest of the rear. Now the interior of the RHO is where I think a lot of you will be really impressed, especially when you compare this to a Raptor. Really nice trim all over, feels premium. Same thing here with the seats. Look at that, perforated all down the center. You've got tons of room, just like in the back of a Raptor. You've got little storage bins. Then you guys can see heated and ventilated seats for the rear passengers, USB ports, power outlet. So lots of features, lots of space. And that theme continues up front, where again, really nice trim all throughout. Got all of your window controls, front to rear automatic, the mirrors power fold in, massaging seats, can't even get that on a Raptor at all. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. And then the payload's pretty comparable, 1464. I mean, that is actually more than what you'll see in a lot of EcoBoost Raptors. And if you guys are wondering with weight, she is a little bit chunky, so 7,800 is the gross vehicle weight rating, so you minus the 1,400, this does weigh over 6,000 pounds, so it is a bit heavier than a Raptor. RHO there, you can see perforated all down the center of your adjustments on the side of the seat. Pedal adjustment there, and you do get fancy looking pedals too. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see that we've got nice soft touch trim all around. It's kind of perforated on the side so you can get better grip. Got the cool paddle shifters there with the radio controls in the center portion behind the steering wheel. Adaptive cruise control with lane centering. It's pretty much a self-driving system. It's just kind of like soft touch on the steering wheel, and it'll do the steering and everything for you. Controls for the center stack as well, and then you got a traditional stock in the back. Now the RHO has a cool digital gauge cluster, shows a bunch of different bits of info on the truck, and then has a bunch of different views. This was released for the latter years of the TRX with this version of the gauge cluster. But yeah, pretty cool setup, I think so. This also comes with a heads-up display, and then you've got nice trim on the dash, all over Harman Kardon sound system, and this will lead us to the camera system. So great resolution, not a huge picture, but good resolution with the camera system. And then this is the new infotainment system, so it still has the climate controls and radio controls and all of that, but you can see auxiliary buttons built into the bottom, trailer brake controls, but then got parking sensors, and then part of the trailer brake control system built into the screen. Good response time with the screen, by the way, so it's easy enough to use. And the vehicle tab is where you might spend a lot of time because of all the different camera views you can go through. And then this is also where the drive modes will pop up. So notice we have our Sport, Tow, Snow, Auto, Custom, Mud, Sand, Rock, Baja, tons of different drive modes. The Custom mode lets you do what you want. Most of the time when you're driving, you probably have it in Auto. And I'm guessing like the TRX, if you have it in Snow mode, you'll probably get better fuel economy. That's at least what it was with the TRX. Here's that physical button for the drive mode select. Off-road cruise control, auto stop start, your four-wheel drive system. There is no two-wheel drive, but you do have low and auto. Launch control, just like the TRX. Raptor still doesn't have that, even in the R. USB ports down below, wireless phone charging pad, shifter here in the center console, and then you can see RHO there with the Rhino, pretty cool looking. Nice trim here. And you guys know the Ram center console, sorry, gotta move that out of the way, has tons of space. Passenger screen, that's the one downside in my personal opinion. Got a regular glove box. Camera, rear view mirror, and then no center with this one, and then we do have a power sliding rear window. So here's the impressive thing of the RHO. $69,995 is the base MSRP plus destination, which is $1995. So, I mean, you're basically 70 grand if you get no options, and that still gives you all of the off-road stuff. Now this one, as you can see, has the level 1 equipment group. It's about $10,000, so that does bring the total price to $82,280. And it does add a lot of nice stuff. You know, the heated and ventilated massaging seats. It gives you the upgraded infotainment system, the nicer sound system. But truly, if you didn't care about that, if you just wanted a crazy off-road truck brand new with a warranty, 70 grand, you could do it. Let's see how this performs. Well, RHO, I have already reviewed one of these, but that one had quite a few options, so I think it was like $86,000. I know this is only like $4,000 less, but that's money in your pocket. That's money in your pocket. And I do think this is probably the way to equip an RHO for most people, because I know some people like sunroofs, but one more thing to break, right? One more thing to leak. Don't have to worry about that. And yeah, this really does have everything. And I will say at the beginning of this driving portion, I am on the fence about buying one of these for the channel. I'm thinking about trading the 250 Land Cruiser because I hate that thing so much. But I'm still honestly on the fence, because currently I have no need for a truck. Everything that I would use a truck for, I'm able to use the Grenadier for. It's got so much cargo space, and it also has a really solid towing capacity, almost 8,000 pounds. So I use it like a truck. But I also, like, part of me wants to get one of these and put a ton of miles on it and see if it's reliable. See if this new inline 6 is reliable. I know the suspension and everything else does well, because there's already TRXs with 100,000 miles, and that's all fine and dandy. But it'd be interesting to see, like, is the passenger screen gonna go But also, like, again, if I got one of these, I would probably order literally like bare bones, no options, because I don't know, I just don't care about the bells and whistles. They're nice, but anyways, this interior, they've changed some of the materials compared to the well, I guess the last couple of years the TRX, they changed the materials, and this has the same stuff, so you have less real leather throughout. And my guess is they changed that because of shrinking on the dash. That's pretty common for leather, and same thing on the door panel. This new synthetic stuff's probably going to wear better, and it looks like they're using pretty nice stuff on the steering wheel. So I mean, they still got really nice, like, this is leather, so they still got really nice touch points. But I think automakers are kind of going for more synthetic stuff, because it's leather can last a long time, but it requires maintenance, and so the synthetic stuff doesn't require maintenance and lasts just as long. So it's kind of like see it as a win for them to go for. Let's do this massage seat function. Let's get this going. Yeah, man, I will say I haven't owned a Stellantis product in a minute, and I miss some of the UI and everything in the product. I'm pretty sure we have I was gonna say, we've got to have a green light at this point. Now the suspension in this, boom, It's nice. Something to note with active shocks is when you first drive, as you're warming up, they make popping noises with compression. I've owned how many Raptors at this point? 3? I've owned 3 Raptors. I owned a TRX. I've owned several vehicles with the active shocks, and that's just something to note. Man, we are not getting lucky at all. This is going to be like sitting in traffic and not actually reviewing the car. But just don't freak out. That's something that some people will kind of get concerned about, is they hear like a kind of like a popping sound in the front, and they're like, oh, the shock's breaking. It's like, nope, it's just the system kind of warming up. Now, I'm actually going to pop this into the sport mode. So let's go into sport there. You can see everything that it changes. Highlights it in red. Now this inline 6 doesn't sound all that good. Hoping that AWE or someone comes out with an exhaust to fix that. But it does have great torque. And it's, being an inline 6, it's very smooth. The one thing that this has over the Raptor is it's a much smoother powertrain. So the acceleration, as you can see, feels way better than a Raptor. It's quicker, that's for sure, in terms of what you feel from the seat of your pants. But it just rips to redline, it keeps pulling. It doesn't have that clunkiness that you get with the V6. And I think that is one of the biggest benefits of the RHO over the EcoBoost Raptor, is the engine being so much smoother. That's going to really help out with off-road, you know, if you're doing crawling, and then also if you're going at high speeds. You want smooth power delivery. You don't want clunkiness at all. And Ford's done a good job with their new 10-speed, but this, it's on a whole nother level in terms of how smooth it is. It does a fantastic job. Yeah, noise isn't that bad. It's pretty well insulated. Like, all things considered, how do I get this off? All things considered, I think they've done a really good job with the RHO, because they basically just engine swapped to TRX, and they've priced it, I think they've priced it right compared to the competition, right? Ford's asking 80 grand for a base model Raptor, they're asking 70 grand for a base model RHO, and then a level 1 equipment RHO has more features than a base model Raptor and is the same price. So it's a great value. And so I think that if this is the type of vehicle you're looking for, the RHO is the obvious winner right now. Like, look how, that's such a nice, it's just, the Raptor's transmission is great, and it helps make up for some of the downside of the V6, but you just can't beat an inline 6. So if you can't drive one of these per se, right, because they're not all that available, what I would recommend is go and drive a high output limited. Go and drive any new high output Ram 1500, and you'll see what I'm talking about with the powertrain. And then you'll understand the features in this, and then you go, okay, it makes way more sense to buy this than the Raptor. Let me know your thoughts.